Yo, what's up, guys? So the other day I was trying to investigate or trying to figure out how to overclock my little Linux box here as I've been mining Ethereum. And to tell you the truth, there's no actual easy way. It's kind of scattered through the internet. So I thought I'd make a video on how to quickly do it. It doesn't actually take that long. But I'll take you through the journey, if you will, that I went through. Um, so the first thing I did was, let's start. Come on, open up Chrome and just like you do anything, look for how to do this. So Linux, overclocking, Nvidia, memory. I didn't really look for CPU or GPU overclocking because that really doesn't get you anything with for mining Ethereum at least. So I found this website. Looks like they have some like editing a file here, the xorg.conf. I'm not a Linux master by no stretch of the means, but um, I know my way around a command line and stuff like that. I don't write my own kernels, so I'm not like a complete expert. So if I get some terminology wrong, sorry about that. But this is what I found. And this guy basically had a couple of GPUs that he found some settings that worked for him. And this is the main thing that you want to look at here. These two lines here. I am doing this, but again, I don't think that does anything. So I have a pretty sweet like mining rig with 6 cards in it, and I basically increase this index right in this section here. I don't know if you can see my, basically I increase that each time up to 5. So because I have 6 cards starting with the index of 0. But anyways, so these are the two main things you need to do. Is we need to edit this file here, the xorg.conf config file, and that's something for the X settings. And from what I gathered is X means the Linux video or something dealing with the video for the window viewer of Ubuntu or um, Linux. And then this guy here, just command line to go ahead and set your GPU to overclock. Let me see if there's anything else. And that's pretty much it. This really doesn't show us anything here, so ignore that. And all right, so I am successfully running my Linux miner at 1300, or sorry, of plus 1300 of the normal memory clock speed. So let's start real quick. Trying to think of everything. I am not using any custom drivers. I am literally vanilla Linux with whatever installs for the video card drivers, which in my case it's I'm running at the top here. You'll see 3 3 point or 38 4.9. So that's just what installs when you include that third-party driver selection thing, Automagic stuff, whatever. So I'm not forced installing any drivers at all. So let's go ahead and go back to this guy. All right, so from here, I'm like, okay, cool. I need to go ahead and edit this file. So I found the file. It's not super hidden, but it's an etc. and then X11. And then we need to edit this. But you're going to notice something right off the bat here. It's pretty much read only. The reason why I know this is it's because this save button right here is grayed out. So I was like, okay, how do I fix that? So I'm like, all right, well, how to edit the xorg file in Ubuntu. I clicked on the first link, went through the stuff, and I'm like, okay, that none of that stuff worked. At least I tried a couple of these, and then I found this guy. Where is it? Oh, actually, hold on. I think it was towards the top here. Nope. Gee. Did I actually use this file to find it? Let me see. Actually, I don't think I did. How to edit. Okay, so actually I want to go ahead and edit this, and I'm like, oh, well, it's just a text file, whatever. But then I couldn't, so then I look for a different way. So I'm like, how? Oh, hold on, I'm trying to figure out. All right, so how to change. I did a different search, I guess, earlier. So I'm like, hey, how do I edit like a read-only file, or how do I change xorg config file with permission? And then I found this thing called gk sudo, and I don't know what it means. I didn't even look it up actually. What is GK sudo? Yeah, I don't know. It has some graphical operation. That's all I can see here. So I don't know. It allows you to edit. So this is the line here that I pretty much used to edit. But there's another issue: is what is GK sudo and how do I get it? So you got to install it. And that's simple enough. So how do you install GK sudo? And it's this guy. So you go ahead and run that. Oh, come on. What was the line? So, let's put that down here real quick. Sudo apt-get install GK sudo su. And yeah, you gotta put some password in. So whatever, boom. And that gives you a command. Cool. So now we just gotta edit. And if we go back to our previous tab here, all we need to do is this guy. So I don't know if you can do exactly. You can see down here, GK sudo gedit / etc. capital X. It is case sensitive. There we go. Boom, I ask you for a password. Thank you very much. And now we have the same gedit. This one's the previous instance I had open with the gray.save. So go ahead and close that guy. We don't need that anymore. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm using VNC server to view this. I don't have a monitor hooked up to my Linux box to save on money, and I don't have to have an extra keyboard, mouse, and all extra garbage. So I just have VNC installed, which is awesome. So let's see. So now, but on this instance of xorg, the one that I use GK sudo with, I now can save. So boom, that's how you do that. That's the number one step. And so now what you need to do is look for your devices, your Nvidia devices. And I think I did not pass yet. So pass monitor section. Your monitor section might be loaded the Nvidia devices or vice versa, or just like you have here with monitors and then a device, which is actual like driver information. I don't think it's really driver information. I think it's just it's kind of like identifier of some sort. So here we go. I have 6, so you can see device 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 6. And all you really need to do here is add in the cool bits part. Hold on, let me move this guy up here. Let me open up another notepad. So the main thing is you want to add in option. And I don't know if anything, oh, this is case sensitive. Cool bits, only first letters capitalized, 28. 4. Now, what I've gathered on the internet, and I've only, not again, but I've only looked a few times online on like what cool bits, what this parameter does. And all I can find is it enables it to do some extra cooling, and I think that's the enable overclocking. And 20, I think, is specifically for 1070s. I found another cool bits number 31, and that was for 1080 Ti. At least that's what they claimed it was for. I can't confirm or deny that stuff, or really, but I know 28 works for 1070s. Just want to put that out there because I don't know if 28 will work for Nvidia. I know back in like the 970s or 9 or yeah, I think it wasn't 780. It was 970s, and they had like a lower number. Like I think it was like 17 or something weird like that. Maybe even before the 900 series. But anyways, this number here, just like that other website shows, works for my setup. And I have 6 1070s. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this guy out. All right, so after you do this, you edit this, you save it, you go ahead and reboot, which I'm gonna not do, so pretend I rebooted. We'll come back to the screen. And now you're not going to notice any changes at all when you do that. I thought I was going to notice something change, and I'm like, okay, well, what changed? I looked around like, hey, how do I change? How do I look to see if something's changed on my Nvidia drivers? So the first thing I found was Nvidia SMI, which is very similar to this guy. So this command that looks like this guy. The very first page I open up with you guys to show you which was down here, looks very similar like this, right? Like this guy is this guy like mine's Mike Diet, Lin Miner. So yeah, it doesn't show you anything. It shows some wattage, how much it's using. Not really useful. It doesn't even show your clock speeds or anything, so it doesn't help. So we don't, from here on out, we don't use Nvidia SMI to see if we're actually working on anything. So I'm like, hey, how do I find out information? Rather than search for on Google for you guys, I'm going to show you simple. Just type Nvidia. If you have normal drivers, I think this gets automatically installed. If not, I think you can do a quick Google search. Let's see how to install Nvidia X server settings. And somebody says you can do this, which is sudo apt install nvidia-prime. And they say if you're having issues, maybe uninstall it completely, which purge, I believe that's what purge does. I've done that a few times in the past when having to set up a Linux box that had both AMD and Nvidia cards. Man, that was a pain in the butt. Took multiple days, and then reset up. So that might be it. I don't know. I think this came with my normal install of Linux without uh, custom drivers or going back any driver versions. So you go ahead and open up that guy. There's another, you can do command line. I think it's just Nvidia settings if you want to do that. And here's the big thing. So here's my all GPU. Here's all of my GPUs. If you go to Power Miser, you're going to see this right here. This is the important information. I wish I can edit this and save it. Nope, that's not how this works. What this does is it shows your current setting, your min and your max. All right. So now, just so you know, I have tried higher than 1300. I went to 1500 and it did not work. It worked for maybe about like, I don't know, 10 minutes and then it stopped. I don't think it was like it overheated, it just stopped working. My computer didn't crash or anything. It just said failed to find device or something like that. So I just had to reboot and it came and then it came back. Basically, the overclock commands that we're going to put in, I don't have it always overclocking it. It's an opt-in, meaning I have to type in the commands at each time. And I'll show you how to do all that stuff as well. So cool, let's go ahead and quit out of that because it doesn't refresh right. And now let's type in one of these commands real quick. Where is that? So here we go. So we've rebooted, just go over everything. We've edited the xorg config file with cool bits, rebooted. Then we made sure we had the Nvidia X settings. That's pretty much all we've done so far. Okay, and that's pretty much all you need to do, as long as you have a, at least I'm running whatever 384.9 drivers. All right, so let's go ahead and run this command. Oh, let's move it down here so I can actually view it. So Nvidia, come on, I hit tab. Sorry. Oh, it's not coming up. All right, so -C, :0, -A. Oh, if I can type. All right, so GPU 0. Let's see if it doesn't autofill. Bummer. I don't know what the offset 3, index 3 means, but whatever. All right, so when I hit enter, this is what you're going to get. Now, if you get an error saying I cannot find driver or unable to locate device, that's either the xorg config file is not set up properly, or or your driver's not reading it properly. That's pretty much it. Actually, you know what? I don't know what happens if you don't have the cool bits enabled, to tell you the truth. Remember, if I had one error in here, and I don't remember if it was my settings thing, the X settings wasn't set up properly, or if it was the xorg.config file. Sorry, I don't have that information for you off the top of my head. I did this like a few days ago, and I just wanted to make a video for everybody on how to do it. So, boom. So my GPU 0. So let's go back to our X settings here. Now GPU 0. Boom. You can see this. 1300. That's how you can confirm that it's set. There's no information on how to find out how that was set, so I found out that. So if I go to my GPU 1, which I have not set the 1300 to yet, it's still set to 0 here. So, which is cool. Let's go ahead and I think if I set this back to 0, boom. If I go back up here, oh yeah, so 1300 because it doesn't update, which is silly. Go back into the X settings and boom, back to 0. Okay, so that's how that kind of works. So I'll show you what I do or what I wrote. So this is kind of cool to watch. So here's my Claymore stuff for my ETH miner. So I'm going to go ahead and I have many scripts because I don't run it all the day because it's at my house and I don't want my house to catch on fire when I'm not here. And also it does other things it turns off when I want it to. Like I have a 4-hour loop here and it just goes on for 4 hours. I have other loops too to make sure it doesn't stay on too long. But also I have it run at night. So that way it's cheaper on the electricity bill. Something else I have installed real quick is this P sensor, and there's many videos or tutorials on how to do this, but it's pretty cool. I don't use the graph thing at all, and I've minimized a lot of the print stuff. All I do is I look at this stuff. So as you can see here, I'm getting like 157. That's without it overclocked. Hold on, I'm gonna clear my throat real quick. So yeah, that's my GPU is not overclocked. I'm getting 157 mega hash. So let's go ahead and run my bash file, or no, I call it bash file because of Windows, but my bash script. So in the same folder of Claymore, I have Nvidia, which is as my overclock bash script. And it's pretty much what you saw on that website over here. So it's each command just times 6, right? So 0 through 6, you can see, or 0 through 5, 6 GPUs. And I also did the overclock on the GPU setting. So we can watch my bash, or not my bash, my hash, my mega hash per second, the hash rate increase. So go ahead and open up a new command line. And there we go. So now I'm going to overclock it. And you should see pretty much instantly already at 177 as opposed to 156 and then now 185. I hover around 185, 187, somewhere around there. And instead of the 26 per GPU, I'm getting about 30, 31. So that is pretty much it. If you don't know how to edit bashes real quick, I'll show you how to do this. You should create a new document, whatever. You open with gedit, and then I'm just gonna open this guy up real quick because I don't remember. Sorry. So I found that you have to. I don't know if you have to type this, whatever. I think it does some identification stuff, so maybe you can have access or something like an include for other things, and then you write whatever you want in here. I have many other scripts, but so with our overclocking thing, I'm just gonna copy this guy. Should copy over. Boom. So, and then you save it. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Now, the thing is, the command line, if I go back to, let's minimize this, go back here. So I'm in my Nvidia folder, and to run commands, you put /, right? I'm gonna type in whatever. And it's not autofilling, hit tab to autofill. And that's an indicator that it's not able to find, right? So it's access permission denied. That's because you have not set up your bash script to be executed. So you right click on it, go to properties, permissions tab, and then you click on allow executing file as program. And that will allow you to run it. I'm not going to go ahead and run it, but the way to check it again is to kind of start typing this script out or the file and hit tab. And if auto completes, then it recognizes as an executable command. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. But there you go. That is a quick and dirty, simple, whatever you want to call it, view on how I was able to get my GPU to overclock, or all my GPUs to overclock. Another thing too is because I'm only overclocking the memory, or mainly overclocking the memory, the temperature gauge is about the same here. You can see about 78 Celsius. It doesn't. I don't think I've ever hit 80, um, even with the overclock. So just to give you guys an idea. Um, all right. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I can help you figure them out. Peace.